Delegating work, even creative work, does not have to mean losing control over the result. With hundreds of competitors in every niche, the amount of quality content, information products, engagement, and support needed for success is higher than ever. But trying to do all the work yourself is a recipe for failure. When I talk to creators and solopreneurs about delegating, their common objections are budget and whether they're ready. But there's another objection, often unstated but in their mind. No one can do the work the way I can. Are all my fellow perfectionists nodding your heads? What if there's a typo that gets published? Gasp. What if an image doesn't look quite right? Gasp. What if we publish the wrong information? Gasp and faint. Especially in the space I cover here, building a business around your expertise, you are the expert. You may even be world-class in what you can do. How can you delegate critical portions of that without those risks? By using the same framework I mentioned a few videos ago, a simple 3-step process. First, figure it out. That's typically going to be you doing it as the expert. Second, write it out. You or your virtual COO are going to document the process. Then third, delegate it out. Assign the process to your team, whether it's freelancers, virtual assistants, whatever, to actually do the work. So let's dive into each of those. Step 1, figure it out. As the expert, the one figuring it out will be you. The main idea is taking your process and systemizing it. There's a saying along the lines of, you aren't truly a master or an expert unless you can teach someone else to do it. So take this as a challenge with dual benefits. If you can teach and delegate much of what you know, then you can also turn that into products and programs for your business. Step 2 is write it out. This step is where you, or if you have one, your virtual COO or your online business manager, are going to document the process in SOPs or standard operating procedures. Writing it down is essential for delegation. One of the most efficient ways to do this is to screen record and talk through your process for doing the work, then have your virtual COO create the SOPs from it. Third, delegate it out. And here's the payoff. With solid SOPs in hand, you just need to find resources with the raw skills like writing, design, or tech to execute the SOP. If you have a virtual COO, you can have them find and manage the resources for you. If you don't, with the SOPs, you can easily validate potential hires by giving them a test task or two and have them execute the SOPs. If they can do it, then great, they're going to be a good hire. If they can't get the job done with very detailed instructions of exactly how to do it, then they're not going to be a good hire. So here's an example. What about delegating blog writing? Say you want to delegate out the writing of your blog posts. I believe it's critical that you as the creator or expert should author your own original content. But even then, 90% of the process can still be delegated. Here's a few examples. First, figure out and write down your process for coming up with ideas, then delegate that to a team member to generate the ideas for you. They could check all the main news sources in your niche for topic ideas or however else you tend to come up with your ideas. For the given topic, as the expert, you would create the outline and the main points that you want to make. But then you could figure out and write down your process for finding statistics, quotes, or other things that you might put into the content and delegate out the collection of those assets. With a detailed outline in place that you've reviewed, you can delegate the article's writing to a person, AI, or both. If you've created and trained the AI copy of your brain that I mentioned in a previous video, the writing can be very close to what you would have written yourself, not just in tone, but in actual content, because that AI copy of your brain is trained on your entire body of knowledge. With a final draft in place, you can either be the editor and review it, or you can delegate that. You can certainly delegate the technical side of publishing the post, optimizing it for SEO, and getting it into WordPress or wherever you're going to publish. So even in a highly creative task like a blog post where writing and graphics and all kinds of different skills are required, the figure it out, write it out, and delegate it out method is the way to offload even that type of creative work without losing control over the results. So here's how to put this in action. As a challenge, take the process you spend the most time on, which is essential to your business. It could be content creation, product creation, or marketing. And then number 1, figure it out. Break it down into steps and processes. Make sure you have steps where you provide specific direction, ideas, and reviews. Second, write it out. Record and write down the key steps that you do in that process. Third, delegate it out. Delegate the execution of the SOPs to freelancers with the right core skills for each of those tasks. And then 4, before publishing the work, if there are any issues, fix them and update your SOPs so they get better for the next time. Just a few cycles of this approach can help you delegate large portions of even the most complex creative work that you do in your business.